Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to my summer gardens in Shushan. I am Queen Esther. I have been Queen of Persia for about 30 years now. Perhaps you've heard my story? I would like to tell you some things about my story that maybe you haven't heard before. My story is not, in fact, a love story, as you may have been told. We all like love stories. We like to tell them. We like to dream that we will live them. And it's not that there isn't love in my story. It's simply that my story has many layers. Love is woven beneath layers of power struggles, manipulations, and lusts. The love in my story is the love of Hashem for his people. And since Hashem is not even directly mentioned in my story, that shows how deeply it is hidden. But it is there. As you know, my name was not always Esther. My name and identity were also hidden. Do you remember my actual name and nationality? Yes, I am Hadassah, and I am a Jew who has been living in Persia. I was married to King Ahasuerus when he deposed Queen Vashti for insubordination. On the surface, I was beautiful, and that is what the king saw, and that is what the king liked. But under the surface, Mordecai reminded me that I was born for such a time as this. Note my careful use of the passive voice, for it hides the fact that Hashem is at work. Since Hashem is not directly mentioned in my story, we know that things are hidden. The sages say that my actions represented the work of the high priest when he went into the Holy of Holies. Now, not to say, of course, that I'm a high priest, of course not, but I acted as a priest in the sense of, let's say, how do you say it? Oh yes, the priesthood of all believers. Or, as Hashem brought us out of Egypt, he called us to be a holy nation, a nation of priests. A priest in that sense. Like the high priest, I fasted and prayed for the salvation of my people. Like the high priest, I changed my clothes. And like the high priest, as he wore bells when he went into the presence of Adonai, just in case he died, I also entered the presence of the king and risked death. As the high priest pleads on behalf of his people for their salvation, so I pleaded on behalf of our people for our salvation. The sages also number me among the prophets. Where did I prophesy, you might say? Again, it is hidden, but prophecy is in my book. Look closely. Have you ever wondered why I had 2 banquets? Why I asked for Haman's sons to be hung the day after they were already killed? What happened in my day will happen again, and has happened again, and is happening. What will be will again be. Let me explain. The king's decrees can never be revoked. That means the decree to kill all the Jews still stands. And that also means that the decree that the Jews can defend themselves still stands as well. In my day, we defended ourselves quite well and established the holiday of Purim. Now, let's look with prophetic eyes and fast forward. In the days of Hitler, the genocide of Jews was once again upon us, and it would seem that Hitler was almost completely successful. Yet, the Allies won, and the Nazi criminals were brought to justice. Guess how many were charged and hung at the Nuremberg trials? Yes, 10, just like Haman's sons. This is coded prophetically in my book. Do you see the way Haman's sons are listed in columns? Do you see the 3 letters that are unusually small and one that is unusually large? The three small letters, Tav, Shin, and Zion, indicate the number 707, and the large Vav indicates the 6th millennium, or year, 5707. 5707 on the Hebrew calendar corresponds to 1946, the year these murderous criminals were brought to justice. One of them, our enemy Julius Streicher, was dragged to his death shouting, "Purim Fest 1946. Keeping our prophetic eyes open, let's look at a map of ancient Persia, where I am located. Now, let's overlay this map with a modern map. Where is Persia today? Yes, Iran. Are the Iranians still attempting genocide against the Jews? Yes. Iran is attacking Israel relentlessly through Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. Our Jewish people still have a right and a duty to defend themselves. As I was born for such a time as this, you were also born for such a time as yours. Seek God's love, pray and fast for the salvation of our people, and keep your prophetic eyes open in this season.